notice how you can comfort your inner child. Notice how you can speak to it and how you can let it know that it's safe. How can you help your inner child feel safe with everything going on? And how can you really identify the way in which your inner child is behaving or expressing itself that may be causing some toxic behavior or causing you to shut down? Welcome to a brand new weekly reading with me, Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa. I'm so excited to connect with you as always for a brand new reading of all of the energy of this week coming up. We're going to be covering November 29th, 2020, all the way to the new month, December 6th, 2020. We have so much to talk about. We have a full moon in Gemini happening tonight and so many things to discuss. I'm super excited to dive right in. We'll start first with a little bit of a review of last week's cards. In the beginning of the week last week, I pulled the Ecstasy card. This was encouraging you to follow your joy, follow your bliss, follow your excitement. And it really allows you to charge yourself up in everything that you enjoy. Then in the middle of the week, we called forth protection, willpower, and faith with the divine guide, Archangel Michael, coming forth in the cards in the middle of the week. And then at the end of the week, we had the beginnings card. And this was all about stepping into new beginnings and recognizing how we are becoming renewed in this process as we prepare for next year. Now, we also had a prep to the full moon in Gemini that we have tonight last week. So I pulled a card and it was the Ancient Power Mysteries card. And this allowed us to really start to feel into any ancient powers, any past life powers, and any aspects of our wisdom from our spiritual journey that activated powers within us that will help us move into and manifest the magic that we are creating for 2021. So I'm super excited to get right into this week's messages. Of course, if you're just joining me for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is a place where we all get to connect with this beautiful web of light community that we've created here and join together in feeling into our own intuition as a collective, feeling into the mass collective energy, and prepping to navigate our week with grace and our intuitive abilities. So I'm super excited to have you involved, and I cannot wait to get right into it. Let's get started. So the first thing that I want to start with is this energy of standing your ground. Standing your ground is something that I was feeling immediately when I tapped into what the spirit messages of this week, November 29th to December 6th, was going to be about. And this energy of stand your ground is about really trusting in what you know is right, trusting in what you know is true, and really allowing yourself to stand firm and confidently in it. Now, for those of you who have watched my readings for a long time, you know that in the beginning of these readings, we go right into the spirit messages, and these are the messages that I receive from my guides, from connecting to the Mass Collective, and from the downloads and readings that I have throughout the week that prep for the week to come. So we're diving right into that, and that first message is stand your ground, like I said, and this is going to really allow us to start to get clear on who we are. And when we recognize our core values, when we recognize the ways in which our mind has shifted, our perceptions have shifted, how we ourselves have shifted and matured, we start to develop a deeper confidence and a deeper strength in our ability to stand firm in those things. And this is really what this week coming up is going to call forth in us, is this ability to stand our ground. Now, this is going to be something that we want to focus on our truths in. We want to ground in our ideas. We want to ground in our wisdoms. These are the things that are somewhat abstract that maybe we don't reflect on often, but are starting to express themselves more throughout our life. Maybe we're starting to be called to really state our opinion, our perspective in more public ways. Maybe we're being called to really reflect on what we've learned, the lessons we've learned, and to really express the boundaries or the new ways of doing things that we have stepped into from our wisdom. And maybe we're getting new ideas, maybe we're feeling new inspirations, and we're really starting to stand firm in our unique creativity and our unique expression of it. This is what I'm talking about. So whatever it is for you, this week is going to amplify your ability to stand your ground, and it's also going to hold you accountable to standing your ground. So when you actually do that, it's going to benefit you in such a marvelous way. So make sure you stand your ground this week. All right, so this next message is all about really discovering who you truly are. And this is not just who you are here in this physical realm. This is who you are in a multidimensional way. This is your cosmic self. This is your past life self. This is your mystical self. And the more that we allow ourselves to step into that, the more we start to wonder and get curious about who we truly are outside of this world, the more we're able to gain new access to our intuition and to our connections to those other worlds that we've belonged to before. And if you remember my messages last week, we talked about the one world becoming two, and how this energy of duality was kind of starting to seep into our experience more and more. And this need to choose sides or choose worlds was causing some big life decisions. Well, this week we're really starting to recognize how that awareness of duality is starting to show us more awareness of who we are outside of the physical realm. So if you've started to become more curious about your past lives, if you've started to wonder about magic or the elements of magic within you, your capabilities to create and manifest things, or maybe you've been curious about your mystical energies and your cosmic energies, the things that are more starseed-like in nature, allow yourself to get curious. Allow yourself to dive deep into that. Go down the rabbit hole of learning more information about those things. Learn what you can do to instigate new connections into those realms, and start to play. This includes astral travel. This includes lucid dreaming. This includes deep meditation experiences where you're calling on your guides. There's so many ways to dive into this. Flotation therapy, even ceremonial experiences, plant medicines, things like that. These are ways to start to see outside of this world and allow our wisdom from that to integrate into this physical realm, so we can start to do more with it, so we can really know who we are, so we can really use that information to step more into who we are and to express it more fully and more prosperously in our new year. So who are you really? And let the parts of yourself reveal that. Let yourself start to get excited to be all the versions of you and to understand what that means. Celebrate your multidimensionality. Celebrate the way in which you think differently than others and the way in which you move differently. Celebrate the parts of your magic, your gifts, your skills that many people may not understand, maybe that you don't understand, but that can be really beautiful if you get to know them more. Now, the next message is all about baggage. Now, we're entering the last month of the year. We're entering December 2020. And as we enter December 2020, we're really letting go of things, of course, like we do in every year. But I know last year we let a lot go. It was 2019. We were letting go 10 years of baggage last year so that we could step into this new year and new decade. But now when I tapped into the energy from my guides, they were letting me know that this year is more about carrying what we want into the new year. Last year we talked about not carrying what we don't want into the new year, making sure we let go of what we don't want. But this time around, we're going to really focus on what do we want to carry in? What do we want to bring with us? What relationships do we want to bring with us? What gifts do we want to bring with us? What lessons and wisdom do we want to bring with us? What characteristics of ourselves do we want to bring with us into the new year and amplify so that we can really feel even more of ourselves and even more successful in who we want to be? And allow yourself to get clear on that. So what is it that you really aspire for in 2021? What are the things that you're hoping for? And what parts of yourself are already aligned to bringing those things in that you can start to hold a little tighter or build a little more or expand in a little bit more? So this is going to be a really powerful energy. Now, this includes also those ancient power mysteries. You can choose to bring in the power that you've activated from past life healing or past life activation. You can choose to bring in your wisdom. You can choose to bring in your self-love, your new levels of confidence, whatever you've gained this year. Deliberately choose to bring it in, because sometimes we can recreate ourselves in the new year and then we don't even recognize that some of that recreation didn't include the most beautiful parts of ourselves. So when we reflect on that, we really start to become even more deliberate and conscious in who we are choosing to step into for 2021. So yes, it is still about baggage. Yes, we want to let go what doesn't serve us, what's heavy, what's not aligning to what we want in our future. But we're really focusing on what we want to bring in, and we're allowing ourselves to enjoy the idea of bringing some really valuable things with us from 2020 into 2021. But we still want to pack light. So that means don't bring in a lot of things. Don't bring in so many things that you're not even giving room for growth in 2021. So choose wisely, pack light, and bring in what you feel like is most necessary and most beneficial for you in 2021. And this is the time. This week, as we enter the first week of the last month of the year, is such a perfect time to start to get clear on that, okay? Now, let's talk about December, because December is going to be a really powerful month. Like I said, it's the last month of the year. It's the last month of 2020. And the card that I pulled all the way back in January of this year for the annual reading was stagnation. Stagnation is our card for December 2020. Now, what does that mean? Well, we just came off of the Mother of Mercy card for these last 2 days of November, today and tomorrow. We're going to be in that vibration of Mother of Mercy still, where we're going to really want to stay focused on compassion, where we're wanting to stay focused on being really nice and easy and nurturing and intuitive, but also assertive in what we know we need for our self-care and for our strength and confidence and our creative abilities. But then we're moving into this energy of stagnation for December. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to start to feel some pressure. And this is going to be pressure of stillness, pressure of boredom, pressure of wanting to do more than you feel like you can at this moment, even feeling stuck. And stagnation can express itself in many different forms. So as we step into the first week of this month, allow yourself to recognize if any stagnation surfaces. This can be something that is needed in your life. This can represent something that you need. Maybe you're stagnant because you're just not feeling stimulated by something. You're not getting any kind of inspiration. You need some kind of passion or spark instilled. Maybe there's this energy of something needing to be cleared. Maybe that's why you're feeling stagnant. This need to let go of something that is distracting you from other things that are going to help you move forward. Or maybe it's something that is waiting to emerge, waiting to align, and that's why you're stagnant, because something that you've been waiting for is just not quite all the way clicked in yet. It's not quite ready to manifest yet, so you're in between worlds waiting for it to merge. This is many different forms of stagnation, and these are many different forms of stagnation, and I want you to just reflect as we step into the new month of December on if any of these resonate as you move through it, because this will help you feel a little less pressure when you feel that stagnation. Now, in stagnation, we also have a tendency to get very bored, and that boredom creates anxiety, depression, irritability, tension, anger, frustration, all sorts of things, even restlessness, manic behavior, addictive behavior, and so much more. So pay attention to what you do when you're bored. Notice what addictions you have. Maybe you have an addiction to technology. Maybe you have an addiction to social media. Maybe you notice that you're addicted to, smoking cigarettes or marijuana, or, you know, maybe you're addicted to connecting with others all the time. You just never want to be alone, right? There's so many different addictions: food, sex, greed, money, work can be an addiction. So notice what you're addicted to and notice how you react to stagnation and boredom. Because when you notice those things, you're going to very quickly see what addictions come up, you know, and this is a time to highlight that, because the guides, our higher selves, the universe, source does not want us to go into 2021 building on this energy of addictive, toxic behavior. So we need to see where those things are, and we need to start honing in more balance. We need to pull back from some of those things. We need to set boundaries with ourselves. We need to be more disciplined and more accountable for ourselves in what things we do when we're bored that aren't healthy. Now, if when you're bored, you're reading, you're learning, you're creating, you're drawing, you're having balance in certain things, then you're doing a good job. But also make sure that there's other things that you may want to incorporate into those times that may even benefit you even more. This is a great way to sharpen that skill and to bring in even more capability in those times. And this, of course, is all in perfect timing with everything going on with the pandemic, with this new wave coming through. Really using your time wisely, the time that we're spending more isolated and in our homes. Notice how you're spending that time and make sure it's healthy. Make sure that you're not slipping into toxic behaviors or patterns, because you don't want to go into 2021 with that. And quite honestly, there's so much programming out there right now in media, in social structures, in all sorts of ways, in our advertisements, and just even in the mandates for us to stay indoors. There's so many things that are programming us to be a certain way. And what's most beneficial for us to do is to really program ourselves to be the way we want to be. Because I don't know about you, I would rather, if I'm going to be programmed, I'd rather be the one programming myself than be programmed by somebody else, right? I want to be the one in control of what kind of, you know, experiences I have, and what kind of emotions that I'm able to tap into more often, and, you know, what kind of behaviors I encourage myself in, and what kind of behaviors I don't, right? And I want to be in charge of that. We need our own sovereignty. So really pay attention to that, really notice that, and allow yourself to release addictions, release toxic behaviors, so that you can really start to program yourself more deliberately and consciously from however you've been programmed from other experiences, or just your upbringing, or, you know, the external world and environment you're in. And as we recognize the programming that's taking place, and as we deliberately program ourselves through what we watch, what we surround ourselves with, what we say to ourselves, what we say to others, we start to notice how different we can become, how much more influenced in a positive way we can become, because we're taking back that sovereign power. We want our sovereign power. We want that ability to choose what is best for us through our own intuition and our own connection to source. So claim that for yourself and recognize that, yes, we're all being programmed in our own way, and we have the power to program ourselves in our own way. So how do you want to live? How do you want to be? And start introducing the necessary things to bring in those habits for the new year. And also notice that our inner child right now is very scared in certain parts of our experience, especially as a mass collective. Our inner child is scared, it's frustrated, it's confused, because it feels threatened, it feels vulnerable. There's so many things, people, communities, groups, leaders telling us what to do, telling us what's safe, what's not, telling us, to do this, do that, and so many conflicting messages. It really starts to trigger the inner child in us, and it starts to feel very confusing. So notice how you can comfort your inner child. Notice how you can speak to it, and how you can let it know that it's safe. How can you help your inner child feel safe with everything going on? And how can you really identify the way in which your inner child is behaving or expressing itself that may be causing some toxic behavior, or causing you to shut down, or just causing you to even be overzealous, or naive in certain areas as well. This is that inner child healing. And really December is such a powerful month, and I know it kind of sounds like a downer, especially with the stagnation card and some of these messages, but it's really our last set of tests before 2020 ends, and we need these tests, we need these kind of moments of strife in order to really prove to ourselves what we've learned and how much we've grown in just a short time in this year. And before the new year, to have these tests, it's really giving us an opportunity to pass these tests and then manifest some amazing prosperity, success, and abundance from it. So don't get discouraged. Allow this to be a time where you get to rise up for yourself. You get to man up for yourself, woman up for yourself, goddess up for yourself, whatever you want to call it, shaman up for yourself. Do it for yourself. Be your own healer, be your own shaman, be your own goddess, be your own teacher, and really show yourself what you're made of. Show yourself that there's a spiritual voice within you, a master within you that can pull you out of any darkness, that can redirect any out of alignment energy or behavior, and that can really manifest more of its true self as it steps into it fearlessly. And this is part of our shadow work. And so I'm super excited to announce that I will be finally launching the shadow work series, where I will be diving deep into my own shadow work for the end of this year and probably a little bit into the new year as well, depending, and also guiding you in how to do your own shadow work. I'm super excited to talk about this, and I am going to be premiering it on December 1st. That's a Tuesday. It's only a couple of days away, and I'm going to be premiering it on onlyfans.com. And this is a really great platform for me to be able to share all of my exclusive content, my vulnerabilities. You get to see into my journey as an intuitive and professional intuitive coach. You get to see, the kind of premonitions I have. I'll be talking about dreams I have and messages I get throughout my entire experience, things outside of these readings that just kind of come up, and synchronistic experiences and so forth. And I'll also be talking about my shadow work, and that's really going to be how we kick it off. I've also got a couple of videos already on there about my story and some of the spirits that I saw as a child and how I really navigated that experience into who I am today. And I'll continue to share my story as well throughout this page on OnlyFans, but I'm super excited to have that platform because it allows me to provide you all this exclusive content, this virtual diary, if you will, and it's completely free subscription, but I do charge per post depending on how vulnerable I get, how much I feel like it adds value to the audience, and it's going to be a really beautiful way for us all to connect and create even more of a community and to shine light where light is needed, because I think, the website OnlyFans has had a lot of different kind of, energies around it or assumptions around it, but I really do see that there's this beautiful opportunity to use it for good and to shine light and to, promote this beautiful web of light community to dive into work on our spirit together. So I'm super excited to do that. I'm going to be sharing content that I've never shared before. I'm going to be talking about things I've never talked about before. I'm going to be talking about my struggles, my own personal journeys, and this is going to be really fun for me to be this open and raw with all of you. So I need a few subscribers in order for me to go live on December 1st and share all of this content and kick it all off with you live. I really want to go live versus recording a video, so I would love for you to subscribe to the OnlyFans page that I just created, and like I said, it's free subscription, so go ahead and join, and then you can choose what posts you're resonating with and which ones you actually want to watch and enjoy. All right, it's going to be really fun for us to play with this platform. Now, I also wanted to bring a little bit more attention to what shadow work is. I had a couple of people ask me, Rissa, you keep talking about shadow work. What is it exactly? So I want to say one more time, because I have discussed it, but maybe haven't been as clear as I could have been. So, and we're going to get deeper into this, you guys. This is what the shadow work series that I'm launching on December 1st on OnlyFans is going to be about. We're going to talk about this. But essentially, shadow work is the ability to look at the parts of ourselves that we have rejected or ignored or tried to hide or, tucked away that may be uncomfortable for us to bring to the surface, but are necessary for us to bring to the surface. This includes facing our fears, our doubts, our judgments, facing our confusions, facing our flaws, and also facing the gifts and the things that we've aspired to that we maybe have chosen not to believe that we could attain, or that we've really chosen not to pursue out of our own insecurities and judgments of self. So we're really going to explore the depths of this. And I'm super excited to do it with you. So shadow work is going to be a powerful thing for us all to do together. And I've got my shadow book right here. This is how we're going to dive in it together. And with the shadow book, I encourage all of you who know that you're going to join me in this series, go ahead and get yourself a journal, an empty journal, whatever one resonates to you, and just get it ready. We're going to be writing in this all of our vulnerabilities, all our deepest parts of ourselves, and we're going to really face that. And I titled mine Shadow Book because it allows us to really hold ourselves accountable for the work we're going to do. And then that way we can look back and we can say, wow, look at all the parts of myself that I was hiding, but now I've brought to the light and found wisdom in. So that's what we're going to do together on OnlyFans. So definitely subscribe. I'll put the link in the description so you can do so right now, because it's only going to be a couple of days before I go live with all of this amazing content. And there's already a couple of videos on there for you to enjoy. So go check it out. All right, now let's go ahead and move into our astrology. This is our last aspect that we're going to talk about before we pull cards. And of course, we're going to finish with finish the full moon in Gemini prep with this deep full moon in Gemini reading. I'm going to add to what we talked about last week. I'm really loving how the moons have been falling in between the readings so that we can kind of talk about them 2 times. And so if you remember last week, we talked about the duality of the full moon in Gemini, the recognition of what that duality is showing us, allowing us to choose which world we want to be in. We also talked about this energy of indecision and feeling a little bit of that kind of turmoil within us. We also have this energy of really wanting to get clear on our ideas, on our intuition, on what we know we need to stand our ground in, like I talked about in the beginning of this reading. And we really want to find this through letting ourselves express our highest potential and our highest excitement and our highest bliss. Remember that ecstasy card from last week. This is going to be how we start to identify our passions and excitement so that we can let go of any indecision or confusion we've had on what really is best for us. Because if it brings us joy, if it brings us pleasure, if it brings us excitement, then we know it's bringing us something that is divine. And even if that means that that excitement is something that's going to teach us something really deep about ourselves that maybe won't end the way we think it will, but is necessary for us. That's what the Gemini is all about. It's about being the investigator. It's about being inquisitive. It's about being curious and adventurous. And it's about jumping in with both feet, even if it's a little scary, even if we don't know exactly what we're going to get. But if it brings us joy, if it brings us excitement, if it brings us love and fulfillment, then we have to find out for ourselves what exactly it is. So let yourself follow that. Now, the Gemini energy is also going to bring us some complexity and emotion. These are layers of energy that we're going to sift through. So pay attention to how you're feeling different aspects of the spectrum of awareness, aspects of the spectrum of emotion, and the microcosm and the macrocosm, the parts of yourself that are really deep and internal that you're feeling, the layers that are really small and subtle and eternal and internal, and then the macrocosm, the layers of energy that is expansive and worldly and universal and cosmic even. So pay attention to that and that full awareness. That's also going to bring you a lot of fun and exploration and adventure. Now, a couple of the astrological influences with this moon is that the moon is semi-sextile to Uranus, which means that there's this energy of kind of higher mind aspects, but there's also this kind of balance there. And with the Gemini is very creative, but it's also very logical. So you may notice that you're bouncing back and forth between what feels logical and what feels inspired and heart-centered. And that may cause confusion, it may cause complexity, but sift through it, feel it out, and trust that as you follow, like I said, your highest excitement and your passions and your joy, it will take you to the best route. Now, on the 30th, which is tomorrow, we finish up this full moon energy, because technically this full moon is on the 30th. It's happening at 2:32 a.m. Eastern time. And so it's in this energy of that Monday, right? The 30th, one of the last days of the month. But it's also got this energy of tonight, Sunday. And so notice how that kind of progresses through in your energy. Notice how you may feel a little bit split between 2 days, or a little bit, kind of spread thin energetically, and just breathe through that. It's okay. Sometimes when we have a moon landing so close to midnight, it can kind of cause us to feel kind of weird throughout both days. So pay attention to that. And this Mercury sextiling Saturn that happens on the 30th in unison with this full moon in Gemini is going to help us move forward. It's going to help us not feel so weird and kind of in between the days. It's going to kind of push us into the week, and it's going to give us new progress, new support, new security for what we're manifesting and expressing into our week. So make sure you're speaking positive things into your spirit, into your heart, and into others. Make sure you're speaking the things that you want in your life into existence, and make sure you're speaking the wisdoms, expressing the wisdoms, and embodying the wisdoms that you've learned that are helping you to access powers that you want to bring in with you into 2021. So this is the work we're doing. We're being tested again with this full moon in Gemini. We're being tested as we step into this last month of the year. We're going to feel some stagnation in December, but it's going to be okay. Keep focused on what you want, and use those empty spaces of time where you may get bored or feel stagnant or stuck. Use it to do powerful healing work, like shadow work. Use it to tap into your intuition. Use it to do healthy things, exercise, breath work, eating right, things like that, because that's really what's going to help you step into the right habits that you need to move you into the next year, okay? And don't forget that I am going to be doing a really powerful hybrid children Starseed event that is going to be fully virtual on December 3rd, and all of the times and details are listed in this description of the video so that you can sign up for that. It's only $22 to join virtually. We're going to be talking all about our cosmic children. These are the children in the astral and cosmic realm that are connected to us, connected to our DNA, connected to our cosmic lineage, that can act as guides for us during that inner child healing that we're doing this week, and that we will continue to do throughout the year. And they're also really powerful guides for us in stepping into more of our adventurousness, our curiosity, our healing energy, and our activation of our power. So such a fun thing for us to explore on December 3rd. So make sure you check out that event. You can sign up in the description below. And again, make sure you sign up for my OnlyFans. It is free to subscribe, at least for now, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to start that shadow work series on December 1st. You do not want to miss it. I will be going live, and I will be posting the details about when I will be going live on my OnlyFans, so check it out. All right, let's go ahead and pull 3 cards for our week to sign us off. Let me know how all of you are feeling. And this energy, this full moon in Gemini, it is really impacting me, y'all. So if I seem a little bit, in my zone or in a zone, it's because I am, because this Gemini full moon is really intense, and it's intense in a lot of ways. It's activating a lot of my power, my connection to my spirit, my intuition, but it's also activating a lot of my empathy and my empathic ability. And I'm feeling a little bit influenced by the mass collective. My heart has been feeling more anxious. My energy has been a little bit riveted by it. So, if you're feeling that, then that's what it is. And you may be feeling that within yourself. So take time to rest. Take time to slow down when you need to. I haven't pulled from these cards in a while, and I've just been really called to pull the middle of the week card from it. But yeah, take time that you need to get yourself feeling in alignment. The more you can stay in alignment, the better right now. You do not want anything to knock you off alignment. And if it does, back away until you're into alignment, because you know, this is powerful work we're doing, and any little thing that knocks us out of alignment could knock us out of alignment for everything else we're doing, okay? Wow, this card keeps coming up too. All right, so the first card is Soulmate. And this card is a powerful card. This is letting us know that as we prepare for 2021, we're really noticing what parts of our soul are connected to what, and what parts of our soul need redirection. So this is really kind of a different soulmate card they're bringing in, a different soulmate message. They're saying that this is this energy of recognizing what aligns to our soul, what is a mate to our soul, what kind of relationships, what kind of environments, what kind of music, what kind of food, what kind of exchanges actually find harmony with our soul, what unifies us with our soul. This is what this card is about. And the more we get clear on what allows us to unify and connect deeper with our soul, and what also connects naturally with our soul, we are able to step more into the wisdoms we need to access those powers for 2021, like we talked about. Now, the middle of the week card is the Seven of Water card, and this is spiritual growth through emotional transformation, spiritual growth through understanding our emotional body, spiritual growth through activating wisdom and healing and cleansing of our emotional body that's needed, and allowing that to be a way in which we evolve. So our empathic ability also heightening, which we talked about last week, so we're still feeling that. And then finally, the last card. This card keeps coming up in a lot of the readings, so it makes sense that it came up for this week for the Mass Collective. So many people are feeling it. The energy of crucifixion. This is really recognizing how you judge yourself, how you judge others, and how you care about judgment from others. Do you fear judgment from others? Do you behave based on what other people may think of you? Do you do things to conform? Allow yourself to notice what you're afraid of in regards to being crucified, to being a martyr, to being someone who's judged or ridiculed for who they are. And make sure you start to release, deeply, deeply release the parts of you that are afraid to be who you are because of yourself being judged. And also deeply release the ways you judge yourself in comparison to other, in contrast to things, and just in general, because you don't want to bring any of that energy into 2021, and we really want to do the shadow work on this month so that we can not bring in any energy of martyrdom. We want to be free, we want to be sovereign, we want to be confident, we want to be strong in who we know we are, and we want to be really expressive of our unique energy freely. And any parts of ourselves that feel resistant to that, we want to release, okay? Especially at the end of the week, we're going to start this with the real deep connection to December that we're going to start making with this new week. All right? So with all of that being said, we've got a lot of energy to tap into, lots of things to do. So if you need any guidance, if you need any extra guidance, please reach out to me for a one-on-one reading. I do past life readings, mediumship, energy cleanses, general readings, and I also do one-on-one coaching for those of you who seriously want to commit and invest in your own intuitive development so that you can access your own connection to your guides and your higher self even more deeply, and your ability to manifest your reality in a more conscious and creative way. All right, everyone, I love you so much. I hope to see you soon on my OnlyFans for that launch of the Shadow Work series, and on December 3rd for that Hybrid Children event. And I'll also be going live as well for a moon talk, so keep posted on my Instagram as well for tonight or tomorrow's moon talk. You'll know the time if you're on Instagram, and you'll be able to see it there. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.